Knowledge of shock. Sorry, Veh. Not interested in that one. Okay, we can take this off and now get back to some spell casting. Four enchant armor. Oh, did I ever get that robe? I did not. Oh, there's old Grinder. Shock is pretty OP, but it's Conj and air, and I'd have to start training up air, and I mean I've got Book of Conj spells, and I've also got Magic Dart, so it's not that attractive to me. It is a very strong spell, but it's a lot stronger if you're pumping some air into it, so to speak. Well, Searing Ray is, it's a handy spell. You notice that I train a bunch of dodging early, so I'm happier to use it. It helps keep my HP higher, so I'm not taking so many hits. And you'll see me, I mean, I'm going to be using it less and less. A lot of the Conj book spells are relatively underwhelming. Like, Magic Dart is a great early game spell. Fulminant Prism can do a bunch of damage. It is pretty fiddly though, and it takes a bunch of turns to do it. IMB is a pretty underwhelming spell. It is useful, but it's just relatively low damage. And Force Bolt or Force Lance requires you to set up some double hits. I should be doing some of that. And I will probably even train up some Transloc early on after I get a bit more spell casting here. Mostly a few levels, maybe for a bit of extra MP. We'll see you later, Grinder. These guys, those worker ants, they can dodge Searing Ray pretty well. Now this is a free kill request, I believe. Oh no. Huh. No, it isn't. I falsely attributed it to him, and I'm not going to apologize for it because it's good to blame free kill for any songs that you don't like. Oh yeah, Iron Sword. Strangely upbeat final boss music. I mean, doesn't this conjure an image of... Hello. That's a good little find. Yeah, it does. It's a great song though. I like it though. It's so happy. It's really funny because in this game you get to the final like boss and you fight like these 4 elementals, and they don't look that scary honestly. It's a pretty cartoonish kind of low-key game, so I guess it kind of works. But it's a funny song. It sounds like the end game credits song, but it's the final boss music. Yeah, we got some good spells here. Conjure Flame. Poisonous vapors. Freezing cloud. Nice emote on Gani. I like that. That's like a derp mushroom. Jeepicus, do you work for the fish lobby? You're just a union. You're the head of the fish union. Yep. Now we're gonna be conjure flaming for sure, and we may not need meth all that much, but we don't need Veh. We got our spell gifts right there. We want to dig, nice, and we got a shop. Good stuff. Haste, I will take that right away. I'll take a cancel pot. Yes. And eventually we'll get that. This is one case where for sure Searing Ray does suck to use. Die, Phantom, die. There you go. He died. Hey, it's La Mulana. Oh boy. That is not a thing that I want to see on D8. I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad I have a resist pot, but holy crap. That's a nasty spawn for D8. Those things will destroy you. Wish I could quaff res and try to take it out. It would be nice to get rid of the damn thing. Lord knows how you would end up fighting it again. Let's, it didn't wake up. Let's exclude it and see how we do there. What was that? It was all the way over there. Yeah. He's red in multiple ways. Oh, this vault. And I get this vault too. Where's my dev RNG? Yeah, you can see it decreasing according to 1 unit. Didn't really need to cast Searing Ray there, but it's alright. No casting. I'm gonna set, although I'm probably not gonna train fighting, I'm actually gonna, I need to look at my other spells here. Poisonous Vapors, Freezing Cloud. So I could use some air. Poisonous Vapors already is castable, that's great. We'll, okay. Start with that. Alright, go ahead and learn that for now. Freezing Cloud is going to be a nice priority. Go to 5 air, say. We may not, well, it sort of depends, but we very well may go for Freezing Cloud, but we may not. Kind of depends by what other gifts we get by then. Because it does mean I have to get, like, at least 8 ice. As good as that spell is, I might have other options. Quite possibly not, because it's hard to beat that one. Prince Ribbit. Is this the time for meth? So why is meth on X? I need to add more letters for my spell mappings. D. There we go. Down he goes. That was actually helpful. A helpful meth. He's one monster I don't feel like necessarily testing my... Oh, maybe we found lair. Don't usually see crocodile just wandering around like that. Yeah, that's what you're saying is absolutely true. You don't want to. What you don't want to play is so that you require a spell to hit in order to survive. You absolutely don't want that. But that's not how I'm using Searing Ray. I would never use Searing Ray if I was close to death. Searing Ray is how you prevent taking damage as much as possible. And if you get to a situation where you have taken some damage, you either need to think about retreat or using something that's more reliable. It's basically earlier is better. Is how I use Searing Ray. Yeah, it does increase the spell power. Wow, this is some fun stuff we got on this D8. Amulet of Acrobat. Amulet of Acrobat requires you to move, Reels. And you can't move with Searing Ray. You have to be stationary. Searing Ray plus Ozo's armor, on the other hand. That's GG, as they would say. Yeah, it's true, Prism does. It's just that Prism doesn't do all that amazing damage in many situations, given its MP cost. If I do Prism and try to kill stuff, I'm taking 4 MP at a time. Eventually, as your MP increases, that's less of an issue, but Searing Ray is way more MP efficient. Alright, so these wolves are bad. Need to be careful about this. And one wolf is not an issue, but Grum can get you overwhelmed. I've got him in a corridor, so I could potentially mef him. I just have to be careful. I don't want to mef myself. Here's our boy. Actually gonna back up a bit so I can have full MP for this fight. Oh, he's got a dig wand, does he? Well, clever boy. It's old Grummy. Retakes move or take a non-action. Yeah, this is something that Lasty was going to address, though. See, this is still in trunk. So, yeah, I guess he changed this, and he was going to change. He specifically wanted to add an exception for Searing Ray at one point, actually. That's why I mentioned that. And he was going to do that, and then Marvin PA said no. But there's still an issue with this amulet. It might get some changes. Because Lasty was concerned about kind of like non-intended behavior, which is precisely using Searing Ray with Amulet of Acrobat, right? Because the amulet is supposed to be about you performing movement. but it's not that big of a deal of an exception. It was supposed to be actual movement and not resting, but I guess there are issues with making it not include resting and then having an exception for certain kinds of non-resting actions like for searing rays is a little bit awkward. So that is currently true, but just don't be surprised if the amulet changes in some other way, because there's some issues with that. Got my wand of digging. Plus, oh, is he playing Human Wizard again, Iggy? Or are you talking about when he was doing that earlier? There she is. No, Psyche, please. Oh, why did you wander like that? Okay. We're gonna have to reset some stuff here, because somebody decided to show up, make my life more complicated. Well, down she goes anyhow. Don't want her to melee you, because she's got a Dagger of Chaos. That's not helpful. Yeah. Yeah, that was a point of contention over that amulet, so there could be other changes in store. That was a little bit risky that I did right there, but it was alright. I knew it would be okay. Looks like we did find Lair. Wonder if we woke up that Ifrit, though. Yeah, I mean, this is a bad D8. This is not really that bad, though. I've had much worse. Good old IMB. Doing mediocre, but just good enough damage so that you will use it. It should be a base type for amulets, yeah. All of the normal generation amulets are valid base types for artifacts. Guy goes invis, he's a little bit more of an issue. Hungry Ghost. So there's that Ifrit. I might just go ahead and exclude Mr. Hungry Ghost rather than potentially wake up Mr. Ifrit. IMB is a pretty lackluster spell. I mean, it's just good. One thing that's good about IMB is its range is good. It's got a high range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can hit most things with it, and the damage it does is fairly appreciable. So Fulminant Prism is okay. It's just that it draws out a fight. That's the problem I have with Fulminant Prism. I cast it, I'm waiting 2 turns, it blows up. It's like multiplying the turn count of the fight times 3, giving monsters a chance to move in, and it also makes a ton of noise. IMB, if it explodes, is also quite loud. So I tend not to use Fulminant except situationally, but situationally it can be good. Oh, this stupid vault. See, this vault is like... If you've got some fighting trained and you've got some EV, you can just last next to monsters so much more easily. If you try to max spellcasting plus conj to the nth degree, you will have a pretty good spell power, granted. But you'll also be in a lot more danger when monsters are around you. Mr. Centaur. Look at me! I'm a centaur. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to like go crazy about noise, but if you can make less of it, it's generally good because you get more control over how fights progress. Don't want too many of these guys to be showing up. Want them to wander out of their damn vault. I just want to get rid of them because it's the lair entrance. And oh, you know what? I've got a flame wand. What am I doing? Flame wand can solve many problems because it makes steam, which can kill those. Even a centaur, which, you know, a lot more, well, actually doesn't have that much HP. Probably doesn't have all that much more HP compared to an eel. I guess they wandered out of their vault, didn't they? Yeah, some people like to try to make noise. You won't see me shout too much because it's just generally not the best thing you can do. Elliptic is always criticizing people who try to shout a lot. And I agree with him about that. There's usually a better way you can approach a fight. Peter Gables. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Centaur's down. Okay, we're not gonna go too crazy. Mr. Ifrit can stay there. So we've found the lair, but we're not gonna go in quite yet. We're gonna do maybe at least one more level. That's a pretty heavy cost at 11.3. We should have stopped training that. Yeah, you can make noise and lure monsters. Most of the time when I'm talking about noise is not when you have very good control over a situation and you're focusing on a very specific group of monsters and there's nothing else around and you know everything is focused. That can be okay, but it's more just like if you're fighting unexplored, if you're fighting near black areas and you don't know what's going to wander where. That's more what I'm talking about. And again, it's not like, oh, I can't make noise and I'm crazy focused on it. It's just like, if you can make less of it, it's better. If you can kill it making less noise, it's better. So Crawl is pretty forgiving as long as your tactics are really good. So you can have a more noisy style that focuses on AoE and uses some of the different spells that I use here. As long as your tactics and your response are very good, you'll have, as good as successes as somebody like, Elliptic, who, has a really high win rate. But I play for a pretty high win rate. Like, I'll win, if I'm playing well, I should win like 70-80% of my games or something like that, depending on how much I care. Well, Meph is a cloud that makes a ton of noise, and but like Conjure Flame or Poisonous Vapors, those spells don't make noise. Meph actually has an explosion that makes a bunch of noise, and yeah, Fireball, stuff like that. Freezing Cloud doesn't really make much noise. By the time you're casting it, you're maybe a bit less concerned about that overall because your character is stronger, but still it's an issue. Not something you have to like go crazy over, but it's something it's something that's good to realize. If you are making a lot of noise, it's good to realize it. My win rate, it was at 100% for recent, but I did some stupid stuff, and now it's down to 60. Actually, some of that is not legit. I had a 0-turn quit where I accidentally selected Fian again when I didn't mean to, but it doesn't actually change it that much. Oh yeah, once you get a bunch of games, you have to win a lot more to get the percent up. I think my streak is only at 2 right now, though. Or is it 1? No, it should be 2. So this guy's gotten past the really critical, scary parts early on, so it's my game to lose at this point. If I make it to layer, I'll usually win like, it's a bit lower now, but it's usually over 80%, yeah. And if this character gets developed, it should be a win. Once you've gotten past the D1 through D5 and the potential for like running into centaurs or the D1 entry vault like you saw me get, then the stuff outside of your control is receding and everything starts being well in your control. This is a nice remix. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's turned into a longer stream, but it was good. Barely scraped by with the Formicid. If we do a Formicid again, we will build the end game of that character a little bit differently, I think. I mean, it wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't quite what I wanted in terms of safety. We'll have a slightly better approach for Zot 5, but it worked out. Thanks for stopping by. I will be streaming again sooner. I took a 2-week break due to various reasons. I will be doing some crawl dev stuff, which I can hopefully push at least some of it next week. We'll see how that goes. Worms that slurp you for Swamp. Iron Giant will get a similar ability if you head to Dis and maybe work on that Gauntlet portal. We'll see about some other stuff for vaults. It'll be minor, but new enemy and maybe work on the new portal. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, what does it mean to slurp? We'll have to answer that question. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, everybody, and I'll catch you in a few days.